जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री 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 राम जय राम
हरि ओम हरि ओम।
राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम।
हरिओम स्वामी जी।
यस
हरिओम प्रणाम स्वामी।
प्रणाम प्रणाम प्रणाम
स्वामी जी।
हैं?
प्रणाम स्वामी जी।
प्रणाम
प्रणाम प्रणाम प्रणाम।
स्वामी जी
हाँ
श्वास and formalities, kindly explain more and more.
Forms and formalities.
Forms and formalities.
Forms and formalities.
Explain.
This one.
Forms, we know, we worship God through so many forms. Depending upon our emotional bonding with a deity right from our childhood, we develop an attachment, reverence, commitment, subservience to a deity through that form. Even today, most of us or all of us are sitting here, starting with that form, starting our devotion on forms only. It is very difficult to start without a form because we have got a form. So forms, but at the same time we should know the form is there, but the formless is also there. Formless is ideal, that is represented through the form. Many of us probably would not have applied our mind, but our spiritual preceptor, when he makes us to get in touch with him, or when he draws ourselves to him, he makes us aware that equally we have to contemplate upon the formless ideal also through the form. Should not get stuck there. Formalities are the one by which we approach that form. Avahana, Visarjana, Puja, so many things, There are certain vidhis, there are certain norms set by our elders through Shastras. Each one, morning, noon, evening, Sandhyavandan, for certain categories of the humanity, they do that. On many important occasions, a deity is worshipped intensely and there is a special puja offered. Special Naivedyam is offered. Some vratas are taken on that particular occasion. Formalities. So form and formalities play a very dominant role in the life of a bhakta or a spiritual aspirant. But along with it, we should also try to become a good human being. That means we are not segregating these forms and formalities from our daily life. Drawing the inspiration from Papa's words, he says, go to the origin of your and the world life. So origin of the form, origin of the formalities. When we try to do that, we will be able to understand both. We will not belittle the importance of anything. But at the same time, we will not got stuck. We want a comprehensive knowledge, not a part. Vinobaji used to say clearly that we should not differentiate between jnana, bhakti and karma. They are like a tripod. If one fails, the entire thing fails. So that we will try to realize. Yesterday we were making a reference about a great Bhaktotama called Malur Shankara Namboodiripad. He said, Srimad Bhagavatam is a how to translate it into Malayalam or English. ഭക്തി ജ്ഞാനത്തിൽ മുക്കിയെടുത്തതാണ് ഭാഗവതം. The bhakti, devotion, when it is dipped and taken over, so it covers everything. Jnana, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So in bhakti, only in bhakti we can enjoy the presence of the Almighty, who is nameless and formless. But suppose we go through the jnana path, there is no joy in it. So form and formalities, they play a very significant role in our life. Just imagine, we may deny so many things, but when we go to temple, how do we stand there? What do you call this?
Namaste.
Eh?
Namaskaram.
No. Joining pranam. Does anybody teach us to do? No. We do pranams, Automatic. Elders we saw doing it, automatically it comes. When we take prasad, we should say, come on. We will say like this, no. When we take tirtha, so formalities we are observing without even knowing that it's a formality. And there is a joy in it. If we don't take it in the way in which it is to be taken, we feel bad. The giver also feels bad, the taker also feels bad. So everything has got relevance.
So, Swamiji, without the form, we can't reach the formless.
Can we not reach the formless without the form?
It might be possible for the rarest of the rare. But we all know that what we do, what gives us joy. On Vinayaka Chaturthi day, suppose you are a householder, automatically you will prepare modagam, no? Maybe we are eating it, okay. But there is an element of dimension of Vinayaka, coming in our mind. Today is Vinayaka Chaturthi. Lord Vinayaka is supposed to be fond of modagas. I should prepare modaga and offer to him. Like that for on all our important occasions, Navaratri, Deepavali, anything you do that. There is a joy in it now. Why break our head with intellectual assumptions? The joy we get by that, and then we distribute on Ashtami, Ashtami Rohini. When we were in childhood, mother used to prepare everything, on all important days. To us, of course, probably the eatable may be, that may be the attraction initially. But there is a purpose. Okay, eatable. But eatable comes because of a particular occasion, no? And that occasion because it is devoted to a deity. So, reverence for form, as far as we are concerned, the present day people, the rarest of the rare, like even Ramana Bhagavan, who is one with the absolute cosmic reality, he has also composed Akshara Manamala on Arunachala, To him, Arunachala was not a hill, It is representing the nameless, formless reality, cosmic reality.
Swamiji,
Swamiji.
In interest of God, a kind policeman, there is form and formalities, beyond form and formalities. The policeman took decision.
The kind policeman. The kind policeman chapter, in that the form and formalities comes.
Comes. Okay, now we will come to that. Today we thought of opening from chapter number 1. Anyway, now that you have gone to chapter number 13. Okay, kind policeman. Which page can you tell me?
43 Swamiji.
43.
43.
1 minute.
No, it is.
The para starts from
Swamiji, the certainly friend replied the
Certainly
policeman.
friend, Papa.
Certainly, friend. As a result of your report, even if I be dismissed from the service, I am fully prepared to face all consequences. But neither you nor anybody on earth shall prevent the sadhus from traveling by this train. Where is that?
Form and formalities.
Certainly, friend, replied the policeman, as a result of your report, even if I be dismissed from the service, I am fully prepared to face all consequences. But neither you nor anybody on earth shall prevent the sadhus from traveling by this train.
That is right. Where is that particular word?
Forms and formalities, where is it?
Formality in the, at the feet of God, Swamiji.
Anyhow, it's all right. Now he has made us to dwell on those points. Now we all started this Google Meet probably on a regular basis to dwell more and more on inquest of God, in-depth study of inquest of God. So from today onward we will make we will revisit. So now anybody can come forward and say from chapter number 1, what is the point that stays with us? Any point, it need not necessarily...
Swamiji, the point that needs more clarification is void, the great void.
Great void. That is number 1, no? I would request, go to the first article also. Prior to chapter number 1. That is very important. Many of us have not applied our mind at all so far. Only after taking up in the in-depth study of inquest of God, we started applying our mind on it more intently. So now kindly think about something about from the first article. O Ram, truth, the love, the goal of human perfection, all hail, all hail. Subtle and mysterious power. Because this is the base. Because Papa was using the word Ram, 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 Ram. We did not understand the word Ram. He was repeating, we used to repeat. And later on when Mataji started repeating the word Papa, we started repeating Papa. That's all. But had we applied our mind on Papa's words, that it is Ram stands for the subtle and mysterious power, probably many of our doubts would have been cleared long ago. Okay, so that first word, very, very, very important. Before we take up the in-depth study of inquest of God, if we have some clarity on the word Ram, intellectually, agreed. At least intellectually we will know, no? It's a power like electricity, which is not palpable, which cannot be shown, which cannot be made known to others through any other.
That is operating, all pervading.
It is the power that is operating.
Those things we have to do with contemplation. Only through contemplation we will be able to have some idea about all pervading. For example, though we are all enjoying the air, all of us are breathing. We are not aware that we are breathing. And the moment we come to know that we are aware that the breathing is going on, then suddenly we also realize it is all pervading. Think. A person sitting in, now many people are sitting here from different countries also, So somebody who is sitting in Australia, somebody who is sitting in United States, somebody who is sitting in UK, somebody who is sitting in Kanjangad, everybody is breathing. Otherwise we will not be sitting. So that itself gives us the idea what is called all-pervading. No? Some idea. Like that, each and every word, Papa he has given us only a word so that we will contemplate deeper and deeper and deeper. It is not that the air somebody breathes at a distant place is different from it also contains oxygen. Here also it contains oxygen. We also breathe out excess of carbon dioxide, the doctor says. The same thing happens there also. If the inner equipment is unable to breathe oxygen, then naturally some device, during Corona many of us felt that, what is it called?
Ventilator.
No. Oxygen.
Oximeter.
Oxygen supplying one device,
Cylinder.
3,000, 4,000 rupees we are paying for monthly rent.
Cylinder.
Remember? What is it called? Anyway, whatever it may be, you know that, no? Normally we know that it's coming from cylinder, but nobody will be able to handle cylinder. So during this period, we have seen people using the cylinder. Not this big cylinder, it will be a smaller size. Whenever they feel, they're gasping, immediately it will be connected. Later on, now they got improved, that it comes out in a beautiful form, in a small box. So whenever we feel slightly gasping, immediately it will be applied on our this thing here, the nostrils, and it goes. Now just imagine, we pay through our nose, Now do we pay? There are about 800 million, according to what we understand from the general knowledge, 800 million of human population. Take India, 140 crores. $140 crores are breathing every 24 hours, So all-pervading. Like that, we try to develop. So this power is all-pervading. If air can pervade everywhere, the power behind the air also is normally we can understand that it is also all-pervading. The power behind everything. Even the sun we can understand, it's all-pervading. So this is how we try to go deeper. Inward journey we take to. All from this first article. Yes, then anything else?
It is called oxygen. It is called oxygen concentrator.
Okay. Any other point from this?
Sense of possession and sense of relation. Which chapter?
No.
Which chapter?
No, first article.
Love, Swamiji.
First article.
Unity and diversity. Consciousness of unity.
Consciousness of unity.
Vanishing forms.
She is telling vanishing forms. Vanishing forms.
Vanishing forms. We have some idea, vanishing forms. Everything that we make, everything that we see, it stays for shorter or longer time. Everything is subject to wear and tear, but certain things long last, certain things immediately start. Any cooked item, it goes bad next day. So the vanishing forms. Our great-grandfathers, we don't know them. They were there. Then the grandfather. Then the father. They were there for some time and they quit the scene. Many of our friends, like that, vanishing form. We are trying to understand. These are all very important words. Good that it has been suggested. The first article gives us so many realities about which we are not aware or we have not applied our mind. This will all help us to go deeper, deeper within and connect ourselves with Him. So first we thought about subtle and mysterious power. Second thing, all-pervading. Third thing, vanishing forms. And then unity. What is unity? What is the unifying force? About which also we have no idea. But now slowly it is opening up that everything we recognize because there is life force in us. If the life force in us is not there, we will not be able to recognize even a life force outside or even a Jadavastu. We are trying to understand what is the unifying, common denominator. Because these are all the first preliminary steps of a bhakta, of a sadhaka. That we should know this. Preliminary steps we should know. Because I am trying to understand the unifying factor, right? Which is the subtle and mysterious power, which is all-pervading, which always changes its forms. But there is a changeless substratum in all changing forms. That a little more study is necessary. Little more contemplative study, little more observation is necessary to understand. Anybody can contribute anything toward this? Unifying. It's also a beautiful word. Think about it.
Swamiji, like the space covering, encompassing everything.
Like the
Space.
Like the space?
Encompassing everything.
Huh?
Covering everything.
Correct. Only in the space everybody can exist. Yes.
Consciousness.
Huh?
Consciousness.
Consciousness, yes. Consciousness.
Swamiji,
Yes.
substratum of all life is a love force,
Substratum.
the force of love. It permeates all.
Permeates.
No, let us not go the intellectual way. We are trying to understand it through a knowledge, through the words which we can easily understand. Space we can understand, yes. Irrespective of the characteristics, all things are accommodated in space. Whether it is bitter or sweet, whether it is...
Swamiji, whether the space is here or in the US or in UK, Australia, space is space.
Space in UK, US,
Any
Australia
place,
is a
Space is same.
Anywhere
Space.
it is same.
Akash. Correct. Gaganam.
Swamiji,
Swamiji,
all the living beings are afraid of death. Even an insect, if you...
all the living beings are afraid of death.
Even a mosquito, fly, everybody, they try to protect themselves, preserve their life.
Protect.
That is also one of the common factor, Common factor in the living being is to somehow retain the life force. Though we may not know that life force is He, still we are so much attached, concerned, we want to preserve, prolong. Correct.
Birth and death. Common.
Birth
Birth and death.
and death common. Birth and death common.
Yes.
That which is born has to die. Though we don't accept it, because to us we will not die. We see everybody dying, but we will not accept that I will also die. But slowly I will try to understand that one day I also have to go. Haridas Giri Swamijian in Tamil beautifully said, ஒரு நாளைக்கு தாத்தா போயிட்டா, பாட்டா போயிட்டா, அப்பா போயிட்டா, ஒரு நாளைக்கு நானும் போகத்தான் போகிறேன். கிருஷ்ணா அப்போ ஆரையும் கூடி இருப்பா, நீ தான் இருப்பாய். He says, I have seen losing my grandparents, parents. So automatically I know whether I accept it or not, that I will also go one day. And at that time I know when all my ancestors' friends left, nobody went with them. So nobody will come with me also. That also I can intellectually understand. So Krishna, now I am praying, you must come to me at that time, hold my hand, and unto yourself you must absorb me. With this bhavana you should chant Ram Nam. No, this is what he says in that beautiful talk. So like that, yeah. So anybody who is born, in ashram, we have nearby in Ayodhya when we have developed, we have seen so many things, sprouting, seeds, something dies. With all care and concern we build, but it dies. Some disease, something, Extreme rain, it goes. Extreme drought, it goes. But at the same time, we don't stop our operations. Because we have taken it as a granted, no? It will die, naturally. But in our case, we have not still accepted it. We will accept everybody, to others we will say, but honestly speaking, only very few privileged people, they think about, oh, death is certain, death is certain, death is certain. So before that I have to do this, I have to do this. I don't mean writing a will about our property and how. That is also should be there. That is how that concept came, Writing a will came how? Because writing a will, the chartered accountant or the legal officer or you yourself feel, I have got this property, after my death there should not be any litigation, it should go for this particular purpose, so you write a will. So that means, there is an implied acceptance that you will die. But we all add one clause, since the mind is always changing its priority, the person who executes the will, he will write a clause that he reserves the right to amend it at any time during his lifetime. Otherwise he will say, if there is no change, this will hold on. So that means death is accepted, though death is not accepted. No? In terms of our attachment, in terms of our prejudices, in terms of our priorities, we don't accept death. Because if we accept death, we will be free from prejudices, hatred, attachment, possessiveness. So in that sense we can say we have not accepted. But at the same time, overall, yes, we will also die one day. Good. This is what is needed. In-depth study means this is how we relate the study to our workaday life. It touches and kindles.
Hatredness means diversity.
Hatred means diversity.
Consciousness of diversity is hatred.
Hatred means
diversity, correct. Very difficult. We have trained our mind to have this, So after reading this, after going deeper into it, we try to amend, We try to correct. We immediately rush up with a judgment, Because God is behind it that we forget. We pass judgment based upon what is happening outside. That is how God made us, Immediately to react. But at the same time, he also provides, okay, it's all right, human tendency is like that, but for devotees, for aspirants, that will not help. You should be careful before you pass any judgment. Because your judgment is based upon diversity. Ordinary person, okay, it's all right, he is not aware. But you have been drawn by your spiritual preceptor who keeps on telling that there is a purpose behind everything that is happening in and around you. So don't blame anybody. If at all you want to blame, you blame him. Why are you not making me aware that it is you who have done this? Then
Self-assertion, sorry. Self-assertion.
Self-assertion. Where does it come?
Big keyword.
Where it has come?
Keyword.
Next page, Swami, next page.
Next page.
By humbling ourselves to such a degree as to totally subdue our egoism, our self-assertion as a separate individual existence. Beautiful. Our self-assertion as a separate individual existence. See, now every word, in every sentence. And then next.
All interest concerning the body.
All interest concerning body.
All interests that concern sacrifice are naturally prompted to sacrifice all the interests that concern the body for the welfare of our fellow men and fellow creatures who are all manifestation of the same Ram.
On the page before, it says, by a complete surrender to the will of Ram.
By a complete surrender
to the will of Ram.
The sentence.
So having reached this stage, at the moment we have not reached that stage, so we can only idealize, That the body consciousness means my attachment to my projected individuality is still very much deep. That is why I am unable to sacrifice this for the sake of others. But at times he chooses to forget. Not because I planned, not because I learnt it, but because he willed it and gave it spontaneously. Kindly go back to your own life. It is not after reading In Quest of God we started doing this self-sacrifice. No. It is not an academic exercise. When we reach that stage where we are free from diversities, this becomes an automatic, gradual, it's an outcome. It's a natural outcome of our journey. And we do that even in this little span of 60, 70, 80 years. Many of us have been given the privilege to do, not because that we learned anything. It was spontaneous. It was not a planned one. It was not the product of an intellectual assimilation. It was purely, intuitively, spontaneously, we felt like doing it. We remember one incident. It was very, in a hill station like Wayanad, before 30, 40 years. During rainy season, it will be torrential. For days together we will not see the sun. We were traveling from Mysore to Wayanad. There is a forest area bordering the Karnataka and Kerala. A big tree fell on the road. To remove that, it will take minimum 1 or 2 days. And in that forest, we were about 30-40 passengers, you know. Ladies and children were also there. Driver stopped. All of us got down. Do some protection to the fell the tree, otherwise what else can be done? Suddenly, somebody ran. We never knew that he was not a passenger. Having heard the sound, somebody had come there. Later on we came to know. So he ran for 3 or 4 kilometers and brought an axe. And it was raining. He immediately started operating it manually, single-handedly. We were all spectators. And slowly, you know, he saw to it that for one branch, suppose he removes the bus may be able to somehow with the stress they may be able to do. So with that intention he started removing, because the trunk cannot be done anything, it's so big. And he did that, and then everybody got into the, by that time, 1 or 2 hours have already gone, and then everybody started assisting removing the cut portions, and then little bit of weeding, manual weeding by everybody. Somehow it paved the way for the bus to negotiate. Everybody got down, it was an empty bus, and somehow the driver was able to take it out with utmost care. And the moment the bus went that side, immediately somebody said, if we had not gone there, we would have been still there. So come on, he took the kerchief, put whatever all of you can. You will not believe on those days, you know. Everybody put without without checking. More than 1,000 rupees were there on those days, 40 years back. Nobody thought for a while. And immediately that was given. He said, no. We said, you have to accept it. If you have not done it, we would have been here. I did not do it for money. We know that. We know that. Kindly accept. Please. You can use it for any purpose. What you did is something memorable. Self-assertion, no? We remember this. Having reached this stage, we by the awakened consciousness of unity or love are naturally prompted to sacrifice all the interests that concern the body for the welfare of our fellow men and fellow creatures who are all. He may not know that the philosophy behind it. But it has come out, you know. His identification with the entire people, stranded people, it became complete. And nobody knew where his house was, whether he has got this particular axe there. Today you have got cutting machine, no, it can be easily organized. On those days, no such thing. So we remember now, you know, this incident that had taken place in 80s. So we are trying to understand, such things come spontaneously. He did not bother about the rains, the torrential rains. He did not bother about the physical strain in removing it. But in the shortest possible time, he was able to make way for the bus. If it's a car, we can understand. This bus, long bus. And immediately, one person's sacrifice, it touched and kindled the goodness in everybody. Each one went there to take leave of him. It is not that they said thank you. Very, very touching incident that came before us. So that means, God provides us such opportunities even without learning or all the going through. I am there, whether you know it or not, I am there. And I will come out. This is why Papa said, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. I have provided you all these things. You simply thanked that individual and no, it is not like that. The individual has forgotten about the individual. If the individual has thought about himself, he would ask for so many things, But he forgot about his body. Torrential rain. Think. So we are now trying to link it with our daily life. Yes. Then? Anything else? So again we will restart. He said, we started with the subtle and mysterious power, which is the most important thing for all of us to digest, to assimilate, to absorb, to contemplate upon, to dwell intensely on, because throughout these 37 chapters, Papa brings Ram, Ram, Ram. How many times? More than 500 times.
Nearing 400 times. 396.
Nearly 400 times he has mentioned Ram, Ram, Ram. We never applied our mind what stands for Ram. So in order to understand this book correctly, he first brings the definition of Ram. Something, something, it has got limited job, agreed. Because after all it is a word. But that will be instrumental for us to go deep within. What is a subtle and mysterious power? It can't be explained further.
Swamiji, birthless and deathless.
Birthless and deathless. Because if it is, again, only through contemplation we will be able to move nearer to it. Birthless and deathless. For example, the air, the space, the sun, the earth. Just like that we start thinking. It has been there, it is there, it will be there, no? The easy way, probably space would be. Air also, yes, we can say.
Yes, Swamiji, a newborn baby doesn't have to look for air. And there is no dirt, like the baby is not
correct.
supply air.
Air, accommodates everybody, The more we think about it, many of us when we were born, later on the history teaches us, when we were born, the Indian population was 33 crores, according to Google Baba. Now 140 crores. But nobody suffers, Nobody says, I don't get air. If the equipment is defective, that is a different thing. But the air in the atmosphere is same. Just because more and more people are consuming it, in our word, that's the only word we can use. It doesn't mean that the stock gets depleted. The stock remains same, inexhaustible. Whether I breathe, whether you breathe, whether somebody breathes, it remains the same. birthless, deathless. Like that he has placed everything before us, not that we have to deduct or deduce. It is before us in clear forms.
Air is not all-pervading, Swami. It is only found in the earth, actually.
Air is not all-pervading. It is only in this atmosphere.
Earth
Okay, at our level. At our level. Later on, science told us that beyond certain level there is no air. Okay. But you and I need air. These 140 crores or 700, 800 crores. They are not in Trishangu, they are very much in the... And nobody is denied. So we can...
When a person dies, the supply of air is not increased.
Correct.
Because of one person
Yes.
not there.
And because somebody is born, it is not decreased also. Something for all of us to think. And all these words make us to think about all these things. Birthless and deathless. Anything else? Why are we not applying our attention on the first sentence? It was about 2 years ago in 1920.
Swamiji, truth, love and goal of human perfection.
Yes. It was about 2 years ago in 1920 that Ram first kindled in the heart of his humble slave Ramdas. That means he kindled. Until such time this was not there. Even before 1920, the individual Vittal Rao was there, But he says, it was about 2 years ago that Ram first kindled in the heart of this humble slave Ramdas a keen desire to realize his infinite love. To strive to approach and understand Ram is to recede from the world of vanishing forms, because Ram is the only truth, the only reality. So vanishing forms, is another point. Vanishing form, we are carried away by everything. All these forms. So which is vanishing, which is changing, Birth, growth, decay, disease, death. All of us are changing from year to year, which we hardly notice. So to concentrate upon Ram, we have to withdraw ourselves from this. Otherwise our mind will also be traveling with these vanishing forms only. So what was the kindling that took place in him? The kindling that took place in him made him aware that all these things are transient. And there is an intransient, or there is an eternal thing that is there behind all these transient things. That was the first step. In 1920, that was the first step God brought in his life. And
Swamiji, in 2020, Papa kindled in all of us through Corona. The Google Meet and all this. 100 years later.
Correct. If he has not brought the day, we would be reading In Quest of God and keeping quiet. But he also brought in Corona. He made us to think about in-depth study of In Quest of God. And then slowly it is trying to open up. Again it closes, but slowly it is trying to open up the real purpose of our life, relevance of Ram in our life, relevance of the vanishing forms, relevance of whatever we have discussed now. Think about it. So the first article Now we know that is the quintessence of spirituality. And all the...
Swamiji, it is like the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Second chapter?
Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Like Bhagavad Gita summary is the essence.
Correct. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya.
All is there.
So now the greatest advantage we have is that in Bhagavad Gita, especially the second chapter, it contains more than 70 slokas. Tough job to remember everything. And if at all remember, it is stored in our intellect. It is not entering into any of our activities. We try to reproduce, we try to discuss. But no sincere effort is made on our part to actualize those things in our daily life. Even when we hear this Vasamsi Jirnani, when somebody passes away, we are unable to accept it immediately. Even then we may not accept it. Because we have no choice, we are accepting it, that's all. It is not because of the transient nature we have accepted. It's all right, that is how it should be, but we will not. So that is the different difficulty all of us are facing, because we did not learn it under the feet of a guru who was a living example. So to us it was academic, disconnected with our daily life. Nice to reproduce, nice to remember. But what happens to my life? But here in this first article of Papa, we find it doesn't... previously we were not applying our mind on this page at all. We start with chapter number 1. Only very few people would have thought about this first article. And now, having now done this in-depth study, slowly, because everybody now remembered the subtle and mysterious power, even if we have forgotten the whole article. That clarity is given. And then we realize, oh, we should have first read this, understood, before we took up all this, because everywhere he brings his word Ram, 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 Ram. And I should have some idea, I would not have realized, but I should have something approximating to the reality called Ram. Subtle and mysterious power. Just like electricity. Gandhiji brought this word, electricity. When we went through his same word, he also said mysterious power. In the compilation called, Pathway to God, he brings this word. It is like electricity, which cannot be seen, but it can be felt. When the fan is on, when the light is on, we can say electricity is there. Otherwise, no. So then we get some idea about the subtle and mysterious power. So our God or life force, everything is subtle and mysterious power. So that is, in that way it gave us a lot of clarity about the indwelling reality. Very good. So today's our revisiting IQG has started. I'm very, very happy that Papa touches and kindles in us whatever that is salient. Everything is salient, everything is important, everything is significant. So let us move with that. Tomorrow you may all prepare for the first chapter. Note down. And we will cover the 37 chapters again before we reach the actual centenary session, in December. We have got 2-3 months We will go it leisurely. We will try to absorb, connect it with the incidents in our life, so that again this does not slip into academic. Our intellect has got a tendency, to store it in its file, Unfortunately, it is kept under locker. It is not open. Of course, we do open only when we remember. For our daily use, we don't. That is the problem many of us are facing. So care should be taken to see that the locker is always open. Locker is not always locked. So with that bhavana, we will continue this in-depth study for the second time. A new perspective, new perspectives are coming. Very nice. Anything else?
When Swamiji is present, the lock is open.
We will try.
Otherwise, it needs the lock.
We will try to keep it open.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, Namaskaram.